Good afternoon, assalamu alaikum, and welcome back to the My Team career as we go for round 2 at the circuit of Sakir, Bahrain. And I thought we'd start off with our qualifying lap. We're in Q2, we made it into Q2 fairly comfortably, so let's take you for a lap here under the night sky of Bahrain, braking nice and early, about 110 meters, because of course we're not in one of the fastest cars on the grid. Short shifting up through turn 2 up to 4, just so you don't get any wheel spin. Brake just at that 100-meter board, down into 3rd gear. We run a little bit wide, but carry that momentum, using up all of the circuit on the exit. Pull the car over to the left, down to 5th gear, riding the first curb. Stay a little bit away from the second curb and the curb on the exit. Early onto the brakes, 2nd gear, and get ready to short shift on the exit to 3rd. You can then run the revs a little bit through 4th, up to 7th. Straighten up the car, drop it down into 2nd. You can drop it down into 1st as I do there, and then just short shift up to 3rd on exit. DRS open, and this is where you can gain a lot of time. Use up all of the track. Look how far to the right we go. Nice and late on the brakes. 4th gear, let the car out on exit. We could have let it out a little bit more. I always struggle with that point. Flat out through the right-hander, let it all the way out, drop it down into 3rd gear or 4th gear, short shift up on the exit, using up all of the track once again. There's probably been another 2/10 maybe in this lap so far, but otherwise it's been alright. Once again, using up all of the track, 100 meters, down to 3rd, short shift up to 4th, and now it's just a straight run to the finish line. Let's see what's going to be a 27.4, and actually that lap was our fastest lap in Q2. We didn't really have many other sets of soft tyres available to us, and it was enough for P11, which, to be honest, is perfect, because we get a fresh set of tyres, a free choice of tyres as well to start the race. So in terms of strategy, this is the ideal situation, because even if we got into Q3, we could have maybe made P9, P8 maximum.
Okay, let's see if we can push for a top 10 finishing position
today. Here we go in the race. This is strategy we're looking to run. We're going to be starting on the medium tyres, just so that we've got some flexibility. If a safety car comes out early, we could go for another set of mediums and then some softs, but actually we switch it, so we want to go hards, and I think I ideally wanted to go hards to softs, but I left the hard mediums just in case the tyre wear was as bad as the game is forecasting it to be, because usually we are very good with our tyre wear. So we're expecting to pit about lap 16. If we want to go on the softs, we need to pit around lap 20, because the soft tyres should be able to do 9 laps, especially fresh ones. So here we go then for the start of the race, our second race of the season, our best starting position. 5 red lights, we've knocked it in ERS, and we've already put it in lean. This time we get a good start. We get a little bit of a lag there. We pull over to the right and down the inside into turn 1. We actually have a look down the inside of Alex Albon. We're up into P7 momentarily, but we don't get the best of traction. We have to lift out of it, because we almost ran into the back of the McLaren and Red Bull. Either way, we're up into P10. We could have a look for Ocon down into the right hander, and indeed we do. Down the inside of Esteban we go. We have a moment with the rear end, and Esteban's able to reclaim P9 for us. Either way, we've gained 1 position from the start, so we're fairly happy with that, as we have a little bit of a slidey with our rear end through the right-left chicane, if you will. But now we just need to deal with Perez, who is right on our tail. He's going to have a little look into the double left-hander, but he backs out of it, and sensibly so, may I add. So that's us up into P10, and now we just need to focus, because we're on hard tyres and everyone else around us is on those softs and mediums. Lap 2, Perez very close to us, really using the advantage of the soft tyres early on. We don't really cover the inside properly. Perez goes down our inside. We go nice and late on the brakes. We think about holding it around the outside, and instead we look for the cutback, but there's just nothing we can do. Perez takes the position. Now on lap 6, we were able to stay within the DRS range of Perez, and we were just able to stick with the racing point. You can see Ocon the further 5 seconds up the road. We're really late on the brakes, or Perez is a bit early, so as a result I decided that I've got to go down the inside. I don't really want to make a move like that, but I went on the brakes at my normal point, and then I just found myself, well, I've got to release the brakes and go down the inside of Perez. So that's what happened there, as Gasly really late on the brakes, just has a little look down the inside, and we've got to just slam the door shut on him. So, well, that is how it goes. And yeah, lap 8, you can see everyone is starting to dive into the pits as well, and we're already up into P4. So We're this far ahead of Verstappen after he's come out of the pits, and I think he was leading the race. So when everyone else pits, we're going to be leading the race. We've actually got a good chance to pick up some serious points now here at Bahrain. Lap 8, everyone else in the pits, and that is us up into P1. We've got a big gap as well, and don't forget, we're going to be pitting at around about lap 16 to put on medium tyres. And at that point, we'll be on the same strategy as everyone else around us. So we just need to keep this situation essentially and make sure we don't lose any time. And a safety car comes out on lap 12, and at this point I was so annoyed, because it means that all of the guys that pitted just before us, they're going to be so close to us at the end of the safety car, and we've still got another 4 laps we want to do on these hards before we put on medium. So I had to make a choice. Do I pit now? What do I do? Do I go for a 2-stop? Do I risk it, try to make the mediums last? Do I put on a set of mediums and then put on a new set of hards and then go to the end? Even if I do that, I don't think I have a second set of hard tires available. So I was really confused at this point, and I was racking my brains as to what to pull out, because 16 laps on mediums is going to be a big ask. But as you can see on the bottom right corner, we switch from soft tires to mediums, and I decide, okay, I'm going to take the risk. We absolutely blast it here so that we get our delta in the red, because the reason you do this is even though your delta's in the red, once you go in the pit, it will all become green. So however much is on that red delta, that's how much time you're gaining by doing the pit stop with that amount of delta, because it instantly cancels. Lap 14, we restart. We're on the medium tires. We're actually in a P4. We try to be a little bit cheeky with the getaway. It doesn't quite work out. We slot in behind Alex Albon, and we are going. So we are on about 2-lap fresher tires than these guys around us. Nice and late on the brakes down into turn 1. And we actually this time pull off the move clearly onto Charlie Leclerc. Unlike what we did, I think it was it to Perez or Stroll slightly earlier in the race? I've already forgotten. That's my memory for you guys. Lap 17. Leclerc has a little look down the inside, and we turn across him, and he has a moment. And at this point, I know you guys are thinking, and you're right to do so, Milky, you dirty bastard, why would you do this to Charlie Leclerc? Now, I just want to point out, I'm taking this as like a real life situation. Charlie's put his nose down my inside, but he's not got halfway alongside. In real racing, if you do this, someone will turn across you. You cannot go for a move unless you're more than halfway alongside. And Charles wasn't. Sure, I saw him going for the move with the red arrow, so it makes it a little bit dirty from that. But it's one of those things. You can see him from the arrow, but in a real life situation, it would be Charles Leclerc's fault. And it's up to you guys how you want to interpret that. Either way, lap 17, Bottas in the pits, Leclerc in the pits. We are up into the lead of the race. We've got Alex Albon behind, and then we've got the likes of Giovinazzi and everyone else, and they're about 4 seconds behind us right now with 11-12 laps to go. And you can see Lewis Hamilton behind Carlos Sainz right now. So it's all about how quickly can Lewis get past these guys and start closing us. Lap 23, Albon's in the pits. Hamilton and Vettel, they've got past Gasly, but that is it. They are now 7 seconds behind us. This is going to be really difficult for them because they've got about 6-7 laps to catch us. They can definitely go a second a lap quicker, but they have been really struggling to pass the McLaren and the Alfa Romeo, and it's just because Norris has DRS himself. Once they get past Norris, it'll be fine. But lap 27, Hamilton's got past Giovinazzi. Finally, 3 laps remaining, and we have a 9-second gap. All we have to do is not lose 3 seconds a lap. That's all we have to do. We have to keep it tidy, but you can see our tyre wear is starting to get high on these mediums. Final lap of the race, though. Lando Norris sets the fastest lap. We don't care. We've got a 6-second gap to Vettel, who's actually overtaken Lewis. We have a moment with our rear end, and that really gave me a bit of a brown underwear moment, but we keep it on the circuit. As you can see, we're still going green. We're still keeping the pace on these medium tyres. So just 1 corner remaining. Sorry that there's been a few frame drops, it seems, on this. Hopefully I can get that fixed for the next race. But through the final corner, we use the safety car to advantage, and we come across the line to freaking win our first ever race.
Great job. You've done everything we wanted today.
Smiling faces on the pit wall after a superb win here at Sakir. And rightly so. What a brilliant effort from the whole team.
That's us taking the win. Salty Peanut Gaming's first ever win at Bahrain. We used a safety car to our advantage. I didn't think at the time it would help us. I thought at the time it'd mean that we'd have another race without points, but we managed those medium tires so well. It's honestly, there's not really much more I can say other than the fact that we really managed those soft tires. You can see 5.6 seconds. Our faster lap was fairly quick, you know, same kind of range as Carlos and Verstappen down behind. But just take a look at that consistency. On the hard tyres, you know, low 33s quite a lot. We had a 1 in the 34s. I think that's when we battled with the Racing Point. And then on the mediums, this is the stint that I really want to show you guys. 31.6, 31.9, 31.7, 31.6, 31.8, 31.7, 31.3, 31.6. So consistent. And here are the interviews. And honestly, I'm really annoyed that I can't give the actual answer. So I'll give them here. Was it a comfortable win? I know it looked like that from the gap that we had to Vettel and Hamilton, but it really wasn't. I was stressing the entire race through. So I'm so happy. You gained a lot of position. Yeah, we did. We started on the hard tires. We just kept it clean. And then it just all kind of fell into place with the safety car. We had track position and we just held on to it.
You really looked in control of your car out there. Your team must be thrilled.
The car did handle quite nicely. It was very nice and stable. I will give it that. We had a few moments towards the end with tire wear, but aside from that, the car, it handled nicely. It was just one of those cases of the car was losing time to the front runners everywhere rather than in one particular area.
Things went a lot better than last weekend, didn't they?
Yeah, it did go better, you know, as I mentioned, and I'll mention again, the safety car I did not think would help us, and it did. We definitely had more pace in general compared to Australia, and yeah, we might have to turn up the difficulty just a notch, but I think we're on 95 at the moment, so I might turn it up to 100. Let me know in the comments if you'd like me to do that, or if you want me to keep it like this, because honestly, next race we're not going to be able to do this again. We're going to be fighting to get, you know, 1, 2, 3 points, so yeah. So those are the upgrades we're doing. We're focusing in the chassis department mainly. We'll take a look next race to see whether those parts failed or not. And we just have a little bit of an impact on that powertrain as well. Again, when we get to the likes of Austria, Spa, Silverstone, Monza, that's where I want the car to be quick. I'm not looking for Azerbaijan, Monaco, Zandvoort. That's not where I'm looking to get the big points. I'm looking halfway point of the season to really come in big. And well, from durability, we're fairly high up there, so that's pretty good to see. And we'll just shove some stuff in there. But yeah, that's all for this episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. It's been a pleasure to have you. It's been a pleasure to take our first ever win. But yeah, that is all. I'm actually speechless that we've picked up the win. It's been fantastic. Make sure to leave some comments what you'd like me to see do in future episodes. What you like, what you don't like, what can I change. Always more than happy to take your feedback and improve on it. On that note, guys, I will see you next time. Make sure to drop a subscription over on YouTube as well to stay up to date with whenever I do stuff. You can also follow me on Twitch as well for when I host my open lobbies. Until next time, guys, though, stay milky and assalamu alaikum.